She has no moral compass any more than Joe Biden does. And so Kamala Harris was asked over the weekend by CNN, Dana Bash, about this vaccine. Now let's wait a minute and do a little background on this. There are 3 companies in the United States that are working on a vaccine. These are well-known companies, including Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson. They're not beholden to any political party, any political ideology. The President of the United States, what the President has done is he's organized the federal government to better coordinate with these companies, to share information, to joint test the products that they're coming up with, and to monitor each other. In other words, there's massive coordination going on. He's ripped out all the red tape to make this go as fast as possible. And the president's being attacked by the New York Times, the Washington Post, and others, the Drudge Report, suggesting that this is political because he's rushing it before the election. And I'm thinking to myself, what's he supposed to do, tap the brakes before the election? He made it well known, this Operation Warp Speed. He wanted to get vaccines and therapeutics as fast as possible to save lives. And now he's being attacked for it. Oh, it must be political. This is so crazy. It's not even funny, so crazy. And speaking of crazy, I circle back to Kamala Harris. Now, she was interviewed, and this is CNN on Sunday, Dana Bash. And I want you to listen to this. Go.
President Trump has promised a coronavirus vaccine by the end of the year or maybe sooner. Would you trust that vaccine?
Now, stop. Would you trust that vaccine? This is why you hate CNN and you hate the media. Would you trust that vaccine? Why, is President Trump in the lab developing the vaccine? It's so outrageous. And so the implication, of course, is that this is all political. The vaccine can't be trusted. This isn't news, ladies and gentlemen. This is propaganda. She could work for Xi in China or Putin in Russia. It's just so bad that if we have a vaccine, shouldn't we celebrate it? Shouldn't we be cheering? Shouldn't we be talking about the number of lives that might be saved? That this is a remarkable American achievement, American ingenuity and inventiveness? No. Instead, do you trust that vaccine? So that is a leading question, which is intended to get her hooked and to be negative about the vaccine. Does a tremendous disservice to the public. Go ahead.
I think that we have learned since this pandemic started, but really before that, that there's very little that we can trust that comes out of Donald Trump's mouth.
All right, stop. We can't trust what comes out of Donald Trump's mouth. First of all, this isn't coming out of Donald Trump's mouth. Secondly, she is the one who is a pathological liar. Remember, let's wear a mask. Everyone should wear a mask. We're going to mandate a mask. Joe Biden's demonstrated what a leader he is because we're going to mandate a mask. Well, we're not going to mandate a mask. Then Biden says, we're going to mandate a mask. Well, it may not be constitutional, so we really won't mandate a mask. This is their big idea. Everything is political. Everything is hackery. Go ahead.
Called it a hoax, is muzzled the public health
He never called the virus a hoax. He called the attack on him a hoax. These are liars. These are propagandists. These are demagogues. He never called the virus a hoax. As a matter of fact, he was the only one in leadership in Washington, D.C. who took it seriously. And you know by now what he did. He shut down travel between China, shut down travel between Europe and the United States, while Biden was saying nothing, while she was still focused on impeachment, while her dear friend Nancy Pelosi was in Chinatown without a mask telling everybody to join in, while Fauci was telling America, you don't need a mask, this won't be any worse than the flu. It was Trump who put his foot down. So it's just outrageous how they lie and how CNN and Dana Bash allow her to lie. Go.
Of it. He has created false expectations for the American people and American families, even though if he had listened to the scientists and the experts.
What? Listening to the scientists and the experts? Who the hell does she think is developing this vaccine? The scientists and the experts in the private sector, of which he knows nothing. He's listened to the science every single step of the way. It's Joe Biden who says he would shut down the entire government if a scientist told him to, and now he's backed off that too. So it's just appalling. Go ahead.
The gravity of it and the power that he as president of the United States has to actually save lives. And none of those were his priorities. His priority...
None of those were his priorities, ladies and gentlemen. No, 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 no. All those efforts to help in the early days with ventilators and respirators and hospital beds and PPE and hospital military boats and the Javits Center and on and on and on. All those efforts by the federal government, unparalleled, unprecedented in modern American history.
Going. So bringing that down, that could have some implications of, you know, people being afraid to take it, but they are trying to get this done and approved as quickly as possible.
All right, so who's going to get it, though? And how are they going to get it to me? What's the distribution process going to be?
So as far as who's going to get it first, it's going to be those frontline workers. That's what they're saying. The CDC director, Robert Redfield, he testified on the House.
Which is what they did in Russia, by the way. They gave it to all their healthcare workers first.
Exactly. And you have, you know, the director of the CDC saying on the Hill yesterday that they're looking at November, end of December, but again, it would be a limited supply. It would be for those frontline workers. Now, the shots wouldn't be broadly available. They're thinking probably till the summer of 2021. Trump says they're already in the process of trying to get it and send it out and having it free for Americans. Here's what he had to say yesterday in his news conference.
We've manufactured all of the necessary supplies so that as soon as the FDA approves the vaccine, and as you know, we're very close to that, we'll be able to distribute at least 100 million vaccine doses by the end of 2020, and a large number much sooner than that.
Well, the problem with that is he's running for office.
Exactly. I was going to say, because then you have the CDC director saying probably till the summer 2021.
Right. So he's saying we're going to have hundreds of thousands out by the end of this year. That's probably not true.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's true. September surprise.
By the way, they're saying because this thing can sometimes
October spice,
we may
bitch.
not need one shot. We may need more than one shot. Is that right?
Right, and this is what no one is talking about here in the mainstream media. You having Pfizer, they're testing 2 shots 3 weeks apart. Moderna, 2 shots 4 weeks apart. AstraZeneca testing both 1 and 2 dose vaccines because they're finding that the antibodies are starting to disappear after a period of weeks or months. So it could be having to take multiple doses going forward, and then also we have to take the flu shot as well. They're talking about that.
And not just the people being tested, but all of us at some point will have to take this over and over again when the vaccine comes out. Great information. Stay on top of it, folks. Thanks so much.